Alright, back here on the 1978 Toyota pickup. My big old pile of garbage that I had there and everything else, all gone. So I took it over to the scrap yard. Ridiculously, I had like 700 pounds of iron and 3 radiators and a cat. And the 700 pounds of iron was like 24 bucks, which is hilarious. And then the radiators were like 85. So I think it probably broke down to where one radiator is worth an engine, transmission, and a bunch of exhaust pipe, which is ridiculous. So for all the crackheads out there, stop stealing catalytic converters, start stealing radiators, because you don't need a VIN for those. Not that I endorse crackheads stealing shit, but ridiculous. Alright, so if we look inside of here, I got the hole cut out for this floor, and so I used the plasma cutter this time around instead of every single tool I had previously, and that worked out so much better. So yeah, if I got any more things to cut out, it'll definitely be the plasma cutter. So this time I'm just gonna show the beginning of how I get the floor piece set up, and I'll just rough it in. I won't go through all of the fitment. It takes like an hour once you get it cut in to true up all the little edges and get it set in there good. With, you saw in the last video with the driver's side, those little brackets that you can put in between to suck up and make sure that the sheet metal's even. That takes a long time, so I won't record all of that, but I will go through sort of the process that I've used so far for mocking these up to get it close enough, and then see how far I get. So set you up here. Let's see, that's probably good enough. So I got this card stock, and like I said on the other side, I did those tabs on this edge here, and those worked out real well. Adds a bunch of strength and then gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And then you can see there's this brace that's on the back side that runs up this panel up through the firewall, and so I'll have a tab here to make getting the fitment in this corner easier, as well as give me some structure on this side. And then you saw the bit of oil canning. I'm going to bead roll this one. I'll figure out a way to get rid of the oil canning on the other one, but this, you see the size here is gigantic. This panel is a lot bigger than the last one, and it'll for sure oil can. And I've already had to cut out some of the bead that's inside of this one, and so I'm definitely going to bead roll this one here. I'm also going to just make it in one like I did the last one. I don't think it'll be any easier to try to make it in two with this weird bend that's in here. You got this strange kick out and all this other stuff. I don't think it'll be any easier to do it in two. So I don't think you can have videos without magnets. So put one here. Alright, so this gets me sort of the rough piece that I got to cut out, and then when I lay it out on the piece there, I'll make sure that I give myself that same 1/2 inch all along this side, and then you saw that I just kind of roughed in a little tab that'll go in that corner that I can then bend down and hook in. So take this over to the sheet metal. So you can see I left the line all the way around it, and that way I know I'll have extra material when I go over there, and then I can true it up once it's in place, and so then I don't have to worry about having a piece that's too small and making a mess up like I did on the other one. so that's what I'll be working with. The only other thing I'll show right quick is getting that curve that's in it. And so this panel sets like this. Again, this edge, I'll bend it, and then I got to get that curve in it as well. I'll just show putting the curve in it, maybe, I don't know. And then this one's got to get bent up 90 degrees, this side's got to get bent up 90 degrees, but obviously you can't bend that and then curve it. And so I'll get the curve in it over at the bender, and then, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll record the next piece. Like an idiot, I forgot to mark where the curve is. So I gotta go back and mark that. So this sits in here like this, and I need to get that curve on it. And so when you want to do right angles, you know, you cinch it down super tight, and I'll even throw like a C-clamp or something on it to make sure that doesn't move at all, and then you can get a nice sharp 90 on stuff. But when you want a curve, you want it loose, and you want this sort of set back away. So normally there's this ridge here and you want this like straight up on the ridge. But in this case, since I want it to be smooth, I want the fence moved back away from the bend, and then I don't want it super tight. I want it to be able to move a little bit and be a bit more gentle. And so what I forgot to do was to mark both sides of it. Alright, so here I'll just line up the marks on both sides and get that bend in it. So there you go. So this will give me that bend, and you can see that it's nice and smooth because I wasn't locking it down and I was letting the metal move around. Now, sure, a fancy person will use a slip roller or something else, but you know, this works just fine. Alright, so this whole edge, since it needs to get bent over at 90, alright, so for the last one, I ended up using just the hand bender because, you know, obviously that don't fit in there. If I had a box bender that had, you know, teeth on there that I could remove and slide in, that'd be nice, but I don't have that. So what I do is I'll cut a bunch of relief cuts here so I can fold all these up and then weld them so they're solid. And then these big flat ones, just one relief cut here, and then I'll be able to bend that up and then bend this up. This will be easy, right, because this already has relief on it, so I'll just bend that over. But I'll show right quick how this sets in there. So, something like that. You know, once I get that in place, you see that I got, you know, since I don't have the edge cut on this, you know, obviously it ain't going to fit over there, it ain't going to fit right there, but, you know, I'm probably 60% of the way there with this, and then it'll just be a whole bunch of taking it in and out of here, cutting off little pieces here and there, trimming it down to where it sets in good enough, and then I'll tighten it down with those sheet metal things. So yeah, just more of the same. Alright, catch you on the next one. Thanks.